Most aspirants treat optional as a subject. Toppers treat it as an opportunity. An opportunity to gain an edge, boost their main score, and strengthen their final rank. The question is simple: simultaneous preparation today or overwhelming pressure later on? Because optional preparation cannot be built overnight after prelims. It requires time, depth, practice, refinement. Start early, prepare smart, stay ahead. Join the VisionIAS Optional Classroom Program 2027 and turn your optional into your strongest scoring advantage. With comprehensive syllabus coverage, expert faculty guidance, subject-specific answer writing support, personalized mentorship, regular tests and performance assessment. Starting 1st July, batches are available for Anthropology, Geography, History, Philosophy, Physics, PSIR, Public Administration, Sociology. Register now and secure your seat.
Time is of the essence, and your UPSC preparation demands that you use it wisely. Every day you invest today shapes the knowledge you build, the confidence you gain, and the progress you make tomorrow. That's why your preparation deserves more than just effort. It deserves a structured plan. Introducing the VisionIAS Delhi GS Foundation Course 2027. A comprehensive program designed to help you build strong fundamentals, stay consistent, and prepare systematically for every stage of the civil services examination. Prepare comprehensively with general studies for prelims and mains, dedicated CSAT preparation for prelims, specialized essay preparation for mains, integrated current affairs, regular tests with detailed performance analysis, continuous mentorship, and expert guidance. When your preparation is guided by a clear roadmap, every class adds value, every test measures progress, and every day moves you closer to your goal.
Good evening, everyone. So, like yesterday's first session, we will continue today with few more units of paper 1. So, today we will take up unit 3, 4, 5 and 6 of paper 1. Okay. So can anyone tell what is unit 3, 4, 5, 6? No? Anyone who has read anthropology? No? Three is about economic organization. Okay. What was the subject matter of 1.2? In last session we discussed 1.2. It is regarding relationship with other disciplines, relationship of anthropology with other disciplines. In that there was one discipline, that is social sciences. So no, this is the second one. Okay. You didn't receive any mail. Okay. Okay. So it is available on YouTube. You can watch. Okay. So again, there is no point repeating it here. So in that we study relationship of anthropology with economics also. Okay. And from this emerged economic anthropology. Okay. It has elements of both economics and anthropology. So unit 3 is mainly about economic organization and economic anthropology. Similarly, unit 4, it is about political anthropology. So as I said, what is anthropology? Can anyone tell? I had mentioned in the last session. What is anthropology? It is about humans, as simple as that. Something more? It is about biology. Yeah, it is about all aspects. It is about all aspects of all humans. In all conditions. Okay. So all humans include humans in the past, humans in the present, and humans in the future. Then when we talk about all aspects include biology, culture, language, and many other elements. Okay, so in this culture, we study about economy of human also, religion of human, society, and then politics. And in the last session, we discussed about the marriage, family, kinship, all those aspects. So here we study about the political anthropology in 4, and in 3 we study about the economic anthropology. In 5 we study about the religion. Okay, this is an important chapter compared to 3 and 4. And this 6 is very important topic in your paper 1. Okay, what is it about? Theories. Yeah, very good. It is about anthropological theories. Can anyone tell what is a theory? Why we read theories in all humanities subject, whether it is political science or geography or any other subject, you study some theories. Okay, in geography also you study theories, in political science also. So why we study theories in anthropology? What is the purpose of studying theory? Any one of you? Kind of that they are not universal means? No, something basic, some crux of it. Like, see, there are various phenomena in anthropology we studies. Suppose there is, you are studying a society and you see that there is some sort of magic being practiced in that society, okay? Or you are studying about religion of a society. Now, from our mainstream religion and other practices, there are many societies whose practices are quite different from what we have seen, okay? So we try to give some, we try to analyze it from some perspective, and we try to give it a causal explanation, okay? That why they are practicing that way. Understood? No? Got it? Suppose like in modern societies, religion is mainly monotheism, okay, or polytheism. Any one of you know any other religious practices apart from these two? Huh? Animism, yeah, very good. So there are few societies, very primitive societies, who practice a form of religion that is animism, okay? Now, why we practice this form of religion and why they practice this form of religion, okay? So, for similar other phenomena also, we try to give some explanation, okay? And for that, we build some theories, okay? Through those theories, we try to explain those anthropological phenomena. So, that's why we read anthropological theories, okay? Is it clear? Now, there are various theories mentioned in your unit 6 from A to J, okay? These are the subsections A to J, okay? So, in that you will learn various theories, and each theory is trying to explain a certain anthropological issue or phenomena in a quite different way. So, now let's start with the syllabus. Similar to the last session, we will start with the syllabus and then we will move to the previous year questions. Okay. So this is the syllabus of Unit 3, 4, and 5. Unit 3 is about, I told you, it is about economic organization. So in that, we have to learn about the meaning, scope, and relevance of economic anthropology. Okay, what is meaning, what is scope? These words were there in which section, in last session? It was in, this was in 1.1 and 1.3 also, no? Meaning, scope, and development was there in 1.1, and then in 1.3 it was branches of anthropology, their scope and relevance. Similarly here also, so I had explained it there. Meaning means meaning of economic anthropology, okay, what it is about. Okay, then scope. Scope means what all is included within the ambit of economic anthropology. And then relevance. What is relevance? Yeah, its application, or its how it is applicable, or its utility basically in contemporary times. Then there is a topic, formalist and substantivist debate. This is very, very important. Okay, formalist and substantivist debate. So what is it, anyone? Have you heard about it? One is about economy. Okay, I'll explain. We will go to PYQs and then I'll explain. Then principles governing production, distribution, and exchange. Even when you study economy, there also you study things in the terms of production, distribution, and exchange, right? So here also principles governing production, distribution, and exchange in various communities. So there we study about the modern society, where we will study about the modern society as well as the primitive society also. There are few examples here like hunting and gathering societies, fishing, swaddling, then pastoralism, horticulture, and agriculture. Okay, so we will study about the subsistence pattern of these societies and then principles governing production, distribution, and exchange in these societies. Okay. Thereafter, we have to study about the impact of globalization. Only one is mentioned here. Impact of globalization on the indigenous economic system. Okay. What is indigenous economic system? Indigenous means some native. Or we call it original people, okay, original inhabitants, like tribes are there in India, then in other societies, aboriginals are there. So on their economic system, what is the impact of globalization that we study? So this has also been asked recently, and this one is very important, formalist and substantivist. These two things you have to focus more while reading Unit 3, right? Then Unit 4 is about political organization and social control. So what is political organization? Do all societies have political organization? We have. We don't have political organization. We don't have. We have. What type of political organization? Democracy. Okay. Do you know any other form? Yeah, monarchy. So all these forms are political organization, like monarchy, democratic government. All these are political organizations. But here, for anthropology, we mainly divide it into stateless and state. We have state. There are few societies who don't have a state. So we mainly divide in political organization of humans into stateless and state societies. In that there are few terms given, so you have to study about them, their differentiating feature, like band, what is band, in which societies it is present, then what is tribe, chiefdom, then kingdom and the state. Okay. After that, we have to study about the concepts of power, authority and legitimacy. Okay. Have you read this in polity? What is authority? Okay. Ability to govern someone. So can authority be legitimate or illegitimate? Both. Okay. Can you give an example? So it is legitimate or not? Okay. Suppose there is a district magistrate, okay, and he has been transferred today to some other district, yet he is coming to you and he is giving you some sort of order. Okay, so will it be legitimate or not? It will be illegitimate. So that is the concept of legitimacy, like rightness. It is about the rightness basically. Authority is like legitimate use of power. Okay, and then power is power. So this is the concept of power, authority and legitimacy. Now we have to see the interaction also. In this you will learn about the various scholars such as Max Weber and all. Then social control. This is mentioned in your heading also, social control. Then law and justice in simple society. So what is the function of social control? Why social control is important? What is social control? Anyone? In society, we need some sort of political control, right? If there is no control, no social control, what will happen? What is the tendency of individuals? Each one will want to maximize their profit, okay? So suppose each one wants to maximize their own profit. Suppose you have created a park, okay, using public money. You have put benches there, you have planted good flowers, trees and all. Now I would like to maximize my profit. So what I will do? I'll take some pots and bring it to my home, okay? We'll get some benches. So for that we need social control, some sort of social control so that people don't act in a reckless manner. Okay, there is some sort of equilibrium maintained in the society. So there are various methods of social control, such as there are few informal methods, few formal methods, and then there are few supernatural or psychological methods, okay? So what is informal? Suppose I am bringing a pot and then my neighbor is laughing at me that this person has got pot from the park. So that is informal method. This laughing and ridicule only is preventing me from doing some activity. So this is informal method. What is formal? You do something and then somebody informs police and then they come and beat you, okay? So that is formal method. What is supernatural? Now suppose someone has in society suppose someone has sent a message that if somebody is stealing a pot from the park, that pot contains some supernatural thing, okay? So you will not be having good health or good economy in your life, okay? Some sort of message there. So that would be preventing me from getting a pot from the park. So that is a supernatural means of social control. Then there is law and justice in simple society. So we have different mechanism to enforce law and justice, but many simple societies, they have a different means of implementing laws and justice in their society. So that we also learn in the political anthropology. So this is all about Unit 4. Now coming to Unit 5. Unit 5 is about religion. Now, the first topic, anthropological approaches to the study of religion. This is linked to your Unit 6. Here, there are 3 theories mentioned, okay? One is evolutionary, second is psychological, and third is functional. All this theory we study in Unit 6. So, this topic is Unit 5 plus Unit 6. And as you will see, even the questions are being asked by combining both these units, okay, regarding anthropological approaches to the study of religion. So whenever you are studying Unit 5, or be it any unit of socio-cultural anthropology, you have to keep in mind your learning from Unit 6, okay. This Unit 6 forms the backbone of all chapters of socio-cultural anthropology, okay. Then we will study about the monotheism and polytheism, the main types of religion. Then there are 2 terms, sacred and profane. What is it? Sacred, you know? Anyone? What is sacred? Sacred, basic. Bhavya. No, sacred means something that is pure. Something pure. And what is profane? Profane is opposite to sacred. Something that is impure. So, this is not simply general knowledge here. There is a sociologist. His name is Durkheim. So, this is his idea. He said that in every religion, we divide certain things into sacred and certain things into profane. Like in Hinduism, you see that beef eating is a profane activity, okay. Similarly, in Islam, pork eating is a profane activity, okay. So, there are few sacred things like we worship tulsi tree, people tree, okay, in Hinduism. So that is sacred activity, or we even worship few animals also. So that is sacred. So there are 2 realms. With every religion is dividing whole world into 2 realms, that is sacred and profane, okay. So one is pure, one is impure. Then we study about the myths and rituals. What is myth? A belief which you you can't prove it, okay. Some sort of unconscious belief. No, that is not unconscious. Myth is like somebody has told you something, okay, but they can't substantiate it. So when you write your answers also, and if you are writing just one argument and leaving it unsubstantiated, it functions like a myth only. Suppose you are saying that economy is not performing well in one line, okay. There is no substantiation, there is no data to prove it. So that is sort of, you are not writing something concrete, it is like a myth. There is no substantiation, there is only assertion. So we study about the myth and then rituals, okay. What is ritual? Basic thing, ritual, you don't know? In every religion we perform some rituals. Like in marriage, what rituals are there? What is that called? Saptapadi. So in marriage we have Saptapadi rituals. Then there is a sacred thread ceremony among Hindu upper castes. Then there is also a ritual of circumcision in among Muslims. So all these are various kind of rituals. Thereafter we study about the forms of religion in tribal and peasant societies, which we discussed just now: animism, animatism, fetishism, naturism, and totemism. These are the various forms of primitive religions which are mainly found in tribal and peasant societies. Then religion, magic, and science distinguished. There is a scholar in anthropology, his name is James Fraser. So he said that the religion evolved in this manner, that first there was magic, then came religion, and then came science. And there are ideas of other anthropologists also, like Durkheim also, on the magic, religion, and science. So we will first understand what is the meaning of religion, magic, and science. So what is difference between magic and science, magic or religion? Or both are same? How are they different? Higher form of creation. What kind of creation? So, and what is magic? Suppose I believe in certain magic, okay? So is it common that all those who belong to, suppose my caste or my religion, would be believing in that particular magic? It is possible, but is it common? Not common. But what about religion? All those fellow members should be believing in certain particular type of religion. So this is about community, and this is about magic. Magic is about more about individual. And there are other differences also. Even the function of both is also different. So what is the function of magic? For what purpose you do magic? Suppose this year you took prelims exam and you couldn't clear. So somebody is telling you that there is a magician there, and if you go before prelims, he will do something. So that is magic, like you are coerce something. There is some supernatural power, and you are doing something to coerce that to give you your desired result. Okay, so you are coercing a supernatural power. Okay, for a desired result. And what about religion? What do you do? Morning when you take bath, and after that, so what, when you are doing some puja, what is the function behind that? What are you expecting by doing that? Yeah, you are just thanking or demanding something very peacefully. Okay, so that is, there are many other differences also. And what about science? Science is entirely different from both of these. We will see in the classes, okay? Then magico-religious functionaries. So what are they? Those functionaries who perform functions of nature, magic, and religion, okay? So they are called magico-religious functionary. Like priest is there, then there is shaman, medicine man, and sorcerer and witch. Okay. Any one of you who know what is shaman? No idea? Anyone? What is difference between shaman and sorcerer? Have you seen in some movies, you will find that one person is there and he has taken something and then his body started trembling, he reaches some supernatural state. So that is shamanism. So he acts as a mediator between this world and that world, supernatural world. So he acts as a mediator. Then there is a medicine man, like in every society you will see, they are not trained doctors. They just know some sort of medicine. Like if there is snake bite, they have some remedy about it, okay? So they are called medicine man. And there is a person called sorcerer. Sorcerer is like if you have to get some illegal activity done, okay? So they are the person whom you should contact. So this sorcerer is for illegal or for if you want to harm something. Like voodoo magic is there, no? So you will see there that in some movies that they perform some type of activities and certain person is getting harmed because of that. So that is sorcerer. And what is witch? No idea? Is black magic. Yeah, so there is no witch actually. This is, being a witch is a sort of accusations. You will learn in anthropology that in real life there is no witch. That is just sort of accusation. You accuse someone as a witch because you are envious of that person and you want society to act against that person, okay? So that's why you accuse that person as witch. So this is all about religion. Is it clear so far? Unit 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now we'll see a few questions from Unit 3, 4, 5. So these are the questions from Unit 3. In 2024, they have asked about cultural relevance of Kula. Kula is this is from economic anthropology. There is a system called Kula ring, and there is a anthropologist named Malinowski. He studied a society called Trobriand Islanders. So in this society, he found that there are certain items which are traded between various islands. Like there are various islands, and person from this island is taking one item, that is red shell necklace, and then gifting it to these islanders. Similarly, person from this island, he is taking white shell armlets. Armlets means you wear it in arms. And he is similarly giving it to the other islands. So this is happening clockwise, okay, and this is happening anti-clockwise. Now this moving from one island to another island, this was very difficult task, very scary also. And there was, this item per se was not very costly, okay. This was not very valuable, this red shell necklace or white shell armlet. So he tried to find what is the reason, okay, why these people are trading these red shell necklaces and white shell armlets in these islands, because there is no value of the object, but there is much harm of crossing islands. Okay, so he found that this is about prestige economy. that by doing this, they achieve some sort of social prestige and rank. Okay. So on that only 2024 UPSC has asked cultural relevance of Kula. Okay, this is an idea of economic anthropology. Then this they have asked in 2022 also. 2022, I think, yeah, here. Critically examine various anthropological interpretations about colouring. So it was first studied by Malinowski, and then there are various anthropologists who have commented about colouring. Okay. So here they have asked about the various anthropological interpretations. So you have to know at least 3 to 4 interpretations about the colouring. Okay. So had you prepared 2022 question, this had been much easier one. Okay. This is a 10 marker only. Here it is 15 marker. Then 2023 they have asked about impact of globalization on the economic system of indigenous communities. The last point in your syllabus. Remember? Just now we discussed, no? Here, globalization and indigenous economic system. So this is directly from your syllabus only. Discuss the impact of globalization on the economic system of indigenous communities. Then 2022, they have asked about the formalist and substantivist approaches. Okay, this I told you is very important. Now in 2015 also they have asked the same question. Critically examine the formalist and substantivist view on the applicability of economic laws in the study of primitive societies. What is formalist is, why we study economy, basic economy for GS. What is the? Very good. So there in each society there is scarcity of resources. Is it true? Even in primitive societies, was it there? When we were hunter-gatherer? No. There was no scarcity. Even at that time also there was scarcity. And there is competing want. You have very limited resources and you want many things out of it. So you try to make choices to bridge this. You try to make choices so that you can utilize your scarce resources most efficiently to meet your wants. That's why we study economics. Now, there are two schools of thought. One is formalist and one is substantivist. Okay. So, formalist is about, they say that everyone in the society is working for profit maximization. Okay. Like in modern society, how we conduct our economic activities. They say that even the primitive people or those people who are tribals and in rural communities, they are also doing economic activities for profit maximization only. Contrary to them, there are those who follow substantivist approaches. They say that not everyone is doing economic activities for profit maximization. For what they are doing? In contrary. Yeah, there are various other concerns also. So they say that broadly economic activities and decisions are embedded in social relations. Now there is a friend who is very poor and you know that he is not studying also, okay? But someday he is asking you for 1,000 rupees. So what you will do? If you are working for profit maximization, then you won't give him money, okay? But we don't conduct our activities in that manner. So we are concerned about this also, social relations also, okay? So even though there is no point that you will be getting that money back, then also you will give him that money. So that is what the basic idea of substantive is. There are various scholars, like one is Karol Polanyi, he is related to substantivist, and another one is Raymond Firth. These are the main one. There are many others also. He is related to formalist, okay? So you have to study about their ideas about formalism and substantivism. Then 2022 they have asked again about colouring. I explained earlier. 2021 they have asked about the modes of subsistence. This is directly in your syllabus. Then 2019 they have asked about pastoralism. Now here you see in your syllabus they have mentioned about few communities: hunting and gathering, fishing, swedening, pastoralism, horticulture and agriculture, okay? So from that only they have asked about a broad question on pastoralism. So you see many questions, they are just from your syllabus only. Then 2018 they have asked about the characteristics of hunting and gathering economy, right? This is also in the syllabus. 2017, with the help of appropriate examples, explain the various forms of exchange system. So this Kula is also a sort of exchange system, okay? There are other exchange system also in the modern societies. Then 2017 they have asked about various forms, okay, this is done. 2016 they have asked about principles governing production, distribution and exchange in simple societies. This is also there in your syllabus. That's why if you prepare your syllabus, you will see that you can easily do all these things in your exam. Because in paper 3, most of the questions asked are from your syllabus only. Paper unit 3 and unit 4. Unit 5, they are asking few more analytical questions. But for this 2, like unit 3 and 4, you can simply rely on your syllabus. There is only one question that was a bit tricky, okay? In the last year they had asked, we'll discuss. 2015 they have asked about the horticulture. 2015 again they have asked about the formalist and substantivist. 2013 they have asked about the impact of globalization on tribal economy. This they had asked previously also. Yeah, here in 23. So there is lot of repetition also. And differentiate between economics and economic anthropology they have asked in 2013. Okay. So this is all about economic anthropology. Any question? Anything you didn't understand? Any one of you? So we'll move forward. Now, political organization and social control. In that, most of the questions are static, syllabus based. So in 24, they have asked authority and forms of political organization. Both these phrases are from syllabus only. Then 23, customary laws and environmental conservation. Now this is a bit analytical. That how customary laws foster environmental conservation. An example you remember from ecology. For GS you must be studying now. Any customary law which fosters environmental conservation? Any particular society in India? No, that is act, no. Customary laws. What are customary laws? How is it different from formal laws? Okay. You all are appearing in 2027. 8. All of you. 27. Okay. So, see, there are mainly two types of laws. First is formal laws, and second is customary. Formal is written. Okay. What is passed by your parliament, okay, or legislature, that is formal law. Okay, that is properly written, like BNS and all are formal laws. What is customary? This is unwritten. This is simply followed by the society, and they have been following this for quite a long time. Okay, so this is unwritten law. Now tell me, in Article 13, where do you study about Article 13? Yeah, you study this in the fundamental right. So in this, do we include customary laws? It says that all laws have to be tested on the touchstone of fundamental rights. Okay, they have to pass on the touchstone of fundamental rights. So in this, do we include customary laws or statutes? Yeah, we include it. Okay. Your Article 13.3 mentions that those customary laws which have force of law is included. Okay. Which have force of law is included under Article 13. Okay, now coming back. Yeah, so 2022 they have asked about the mechanism of social control in different kinds of political system. Okay, there are different mechanisms of social control, just now we discussed, and how they vary in different kind of political system. Okay, then 21 they have asked about how do political organizations of simple societies establish power, authority and legitimacy. This is also in your syllabus. How do they establish, how we establish power, authority and legitimacy? How? No, how? By decentralization. Yeah, by forming institutions, by rules, laws, etc. But how they establish power, authority and legitimacy is a bit different from our societies. One example is there are some people in Arctic, they are called Inuit. Okay, there is a society, a culture that is called Inuit culture. They practice song duels. Okay, so if someone is committing a crime, suppose A committed a crime against B. Okay, now they are living in a very harsh environment. So if they come to fighting, that would be a problematic for both A and B. Okay, so what they do is they compose very critical songs against each other. Okay, so A will compose very critical song against B and B will compose critical song against, and they will do a public performance. So now it depends on the audience. If the audience is laughing more on B's song, so B is the winner. Okay, so some sort of, so these are the different ways of establishing power, authority and legitimacy. This is not basically related to power, authority. I am just giving one example. You can somehow relate here. Then 2020 they have asked about how is construction of power linked to the notion of, yeah, this is a bit analytical question. How is construction of power linked to notion of conspicuous consumption and its impact on distributive justice? Can anyone tell what this question wants you to answer? Just the demand of the question. How is the construction of power linked to the notion of conspicuous consumption? What is conspicuous consumption? Not small. What is conspicuous? Which is visible, okay. This is visible. So what is visible consumption? For what purposes you consume something? No, suppose you are consuming something, like suppose you are buying some cloth. So what is the purpose behind it? Why you are consuming that cloth? What is the purpose? Utility. One purpose, the most common is utility. Similarly, suppose you are buying a watch. You want it to see time, that's why you are buying a watch. Now suppose you are buying a Rolex watch. So what is the purpose here? That is conspicuous consumption, okay. That you want to make it visible. You want to make your consumption visible. Now here question is asking how the construction of power is linked to the notion of conspicuous consumption, and then it's asking that what is its impact on distributive justice, okay. So is it this construction of power linked to this somehow? How?
The one who is having greater utility, that person must be socially higher in the social hierarchy.
Greater utility. Suppose you are finding someone who is wearing a Rolex and riding a Ferrari. Okay, someone of these characteristics, he visits ORN. So what will he do? What usually people do? Somehow people start respecting him, no? They start to think that this person has lots of power, okay? Even if this is bought from some friend, but those who are not knowing, they will understand that this person has lots of power because he has the ability to burn money on these things. So that way. There is a anthropologist also, Veblen. So this is based on his ideas only, that how the notion of conspicuous consumption is linked to construction of power. And then the question is asking about the distributive justice. Have you guys read ethics paper 4? No? There is a scholar there, John Rawls. So we study about his ideas. So he says that inequality in society is good only if it helps poor people, okay? Those who are downtrodden, if it is helping them, then only inequality is good. Now here you can relate this with this idea also, that conspicuous consumption is not helping these poor people, okay? And there are many other ideas also which you can include. So here you have to basically first show that power is psychological thing. Because people just don't hold status, they also display it, okay, through conspicuous consumption. So status displayed through conspicuous consumption, and then you have to write its impact on distributive justice. So compared to other questions, this is fresh and analytical. Now you will see other questions, those are based on your syllabus only. Is it clear? 2018, they have asked about how does customary law function in the tribal society. Discuss its different sources. Sources of customary law. Okay, there are different sources. Even though it is unwritten, there are different sources about it. Then 2017, they have asked, mention the characteristic feature of band with suitable example. So initially we saw that there are few terms like band, chiefdom and all. So that you will be studying when you will study about Unit 4. Then different social control mechanisms in simple societies. So one is like laughter is there, social ostracism is there. So all these are different methods of social control. Now you just don't have to mention all these. You have to mention this and you have to substantiate with ethnographic studies, okay? In which societies these are practiced, in what manner. And you have to mention the scholars also. So in general, in your optional answers, you do these things, okay? You mention about the scholars, you mention about the ethnographic studies. Without mentioning them, just simply writing answer like a GS doesn't hold much value. Okay. Then 2014, they have asked about difference between state and stateless societies. This is very basic. 2014, they have asked about discuss the nature of law and justice in simple societies. Then 2012, band and tribal societies. So most of the things are from syllabus. Only one question was worth discussing, that is this one. Now let's move to Unit 5. This question is, I think, incomplete. 2025, they asked about, I think, the idea of James Fraser. This is the second part of the question. And then second part was elucidate the place of religion in modernity. Okay. So what is the place of religion in modernity? What functions religion serve? In our society? Does it serve any function? What function? Hmm? Way with? Okay. Forms the way we think. Okay. What other function? Hmm? Yeah, it provides moral principles. Very good. Another one? Yeah, so that helps in social solidarity, right? So many people, suppose there is a festival and many persons are aggregating there and performing some rituals, so it somehow is fostering social solidarity. So these are the different functions of religion, and that way you can elucidate the place of religion in the modernity. Also, there are various other aspects also. Then 2023, they asked about how do Clifford Geertz look at religion. Okay. Now Clifford Geertz you will study in Unit 6 in interpretive anthropology. There is a topic symbolic and interpretive anthropology. So he is an interpretive anthropologist. Now question has asked how do Clifford Geertz look at religion. So this is You can say it has combined unit 6 with unit 5. Then second part is differentiate between anthropological and psychological approaches to the study of religion. So as we discussed in the syllabus, there are 3 approaches mentioned in your syllabus to study religion. Okay, the first point is that only, if you remember. Yeah, here. Evolutionary, psychological, and functional. The first point, anthropological approaches to the study of religion. Okay, so the second part of question is based on this part of the syllabus. That differentiate between the anthropological and psychological approaches. So here also anthropological approach is more about you are taking whole society, you are discussing it from the perspective of whole of society. Psychological is more about individual. Okay. There are various scholars you have to mention. Anyone who has any idea about any scholar? No one has read anthropology, even the basic chapters. No one. Like Malinowski also is there, then Radcliffe Brown is there. So all of them we mention under this. So first you have to mention the idea of Clifford Geertz, how he looked at religion, and then you have to, in the second part, you have to differentiate between these 2 approaches, if you know the approaches, okay. Then 2022, they have asked to differentiate between shaman, sorcerer, and medicine man. Very precise question. So unless you know exactly what is the difference, you can't write this. Because previously, before 2022, all, see here, students used to combine all of them together, okay. Most of them were not clear about what was the difference between shaman, sorcerer, and medicine. Same thing they had written, that this is also magico-religious, this is also magico-religious. So precisely what is the difference? They tested your conceptual clarity in this question. Just now I discussed what is difference. Can anyone who remembers?
Shaman is the mediator and sorcerer is the person who uses little things to
Yeah, harmful things, and medicine man is? Yeah, I just mentioned. Medicine man is, he does something, some welfare work, okay, of nature of doctor, okay. So that is medicine man. Then 21, they asked about animism and deep ecology. What is animism? Form of religion, what it believes. Animism means it believes that there is a soul in everything, okay? In trees also, in all animals, in humans also. So there is soul in everything. Now, how it is, this is also an analytical question. They have linked animism with the idea of deep ecology. This you will be studying in the environment. One second. This you will study in the environment. So what is the idea of deep ecology? Earlier, there was idea, even it is valid now also, anthropocentrism, okay, human at center. So we judge all other things from this lens, that whether it is beneficial for humans or not. Now this deep ecology, it says that human is just one part of the nature, okay, it is not everything, and all living beings are equally valuable. All living beings equally valuable. Now, can you relate the idea of animism with deep ecology? What animism is telling is that there is soul in each tree, each animal, and each living being. And deep ecology is saying that all, so both are somehow related. right? So, okay. Now here simply you don't have to write the idea, you have to mention the scholars also. Then you have to mention about the various studies in which this idea is practiced. Okay. Now 2019 they have asked about same thing, critically explain the anthropological approaches to religion. What is meaning of critically explain? Suppose you are discussing functional approach, okay? So there are scholarly critique to this functional approach also. There are few scholars who have critiqued these functional approaches. So you have to mention that also. So you have to put both sides of the arguments, okay? First you have to mention the different approaches of studying religion, functional, psychological, evolutionary, and then you have to mention their critique as well, okay? Scholarly critique, not your personal critique. And then you have to substantiate each thing with the example. Then 2018 they have asked about difference between science and magic. So we discussed science, magic and religion. 2017 also they have asked the same thing, say 10 markers often gets repeated. Nowadays they are not doing this, but 10 markers earlier they used to get often repeated. Then 2017 they have asked about discuss the different traditional forms of religion. This is one traditional form of religion, okay? There are various other mentioned in the syllabus, I showed you. Yeah. These are animism, animatism, fetishism, naturism and totemism. So question is on same thing. Discuss the various traditional forms of religion in tribal societies. Okay. So you have to give form of religion and then you have to mention the example of concerned tribal society. Then totemism. What is totemism? What is totem? Any idea? Specific animals and plants. So cat is a totem? Huh? It can be. For whom? Yeah. So your answer is incomplete. It is specific plant and animal that serve as emblem for a clan or society. What is emblem? What is the emblem of India? Ashok Chakra. Yeah, Ashoka lion pillar. So what is emblem now? Can anyone tell in general terms? What is this Ashoka lion capital? What is it? It is a form of something which is revealing some identity. Okay. So similarly, this plant and animal is revealing the identity of this clan and society. Okay. Understood? So that is a totem. Now, this sociologist Durkheim, he studied totemism in much detail. So he said that totem is basically, this totemism as form of religion is basically the worship of society. Okay, because we are just representing a clan or a society through a totem. Okay, and now we are worshipping that totem. So somehow we are in turn worshipping that society also. Okay, so he said that totemism is a worship of society, or totem is society divinized. We have made the society divine. Okay. So there are various perspectives, scholarly perspectives you have to mention on totemism. So suppose this is a 10 mark only. So what you will write in the introduction? Basic thing only. Don't tell me about details. Just tell me what you will be writing about it. In introduction, body, and conclusion. First you will define, okay, what is totemism. This you will do in introduction. Then
various scholars,
how will you organize that? Your body of the answer.
will make different subheadings.
So what different? Like you will, okay, if you don't know, then you will be writing at least 2 sides, okay? That there will be one perspective and there will be something counter to it, okay? There will be some critique to it also. So those you will be discussing. Then what you will write after that? Yeah, that you will be mentioning in the body only. And then in the conclusion, what you will write? Something about its relevance, okay? Something you will connect it to the modern society, or you will write some relevance about it, okay? So, especially in the 10 marker, you have to be very precise, okay? Then only you will be getting marks. If it is 10 marker and you are writing very precisely, then you can get up to even 5 marks also. This is the main problem, because most of the people, they don't focus more on 10 markers and they beat around the bush. That's why they don't get marks. 1.5 to 2 marks usually they get. So especially for 10 markers, be very precise. Okay, whatever is being asked, that only you have to mention. There is no scope of beating around the bush. In 15 marker and 20 marker, you can do something, okay? But in 10 marker, you have to be very precise. And those who didn't attend last session, I mentioned there, you have to devote 7 minutes for writing a 10 marker, okay? 10 minutes for a 15 marker and 15 minutes for a 20 marker, okay? So then only you will be able to complete the paper. Then 2016, they have asked about critically examine different anthropological approaches to religion. This question has been asked previously also. Here, say, 2019, the same question was repeated. Then 2015, how do you relate the concept of sacred and profane in Durkheim's theory of religion with a focus on the role of totem? So I told you Durkheim is related to sacred and profane also, and he is related to totemism also. This question has combined both of it. So if you have conceptual clarity, then you can easily answer this type of questions, okay? That's why focus on clarity, okay? That if some scholar is saying something about something, why he is saying something about it, okay? What is the base of it? And if somebody is criticizing it, so what is the base of that criticism? So that you have to understand very properly. Then only you will be able to write a good answer. Then 2013, they have asked about totemism again. And 2013, they have asked distinguish between religion, magic and science. So many questions are from your syllabus only. Few questions are analytical. One is this one, a bit difficult to answer among this. And I'll guess this one, 2023 is also the first part. Those who have studied the psychological approaches somehow can relate this. Otherwise, it was a bit difficult. This is the takeaway from unit 3, 4 and 5. You have to focus In Unit 3, formalist substantivist debate and colouring. Many questions are asked from these topics. Then social control and mechanisms in Unit 4, and anthropological approaches to study of religion. Okay, this you have to study critically. Okay, so these three are most important. If I have to choose one point from each of these three units, so these are the 3 points. Now, how is the shift? So earlier there used to be more descriptive questions. Now they are bit more analytical and issue based. Okay, still they are asking questions from the previous year, but they are including some new elements to it. Like we saw that animism they link to deep ecology. Recent questions expect students to connect concept with the larger debates. Larger debate this only, that animism with the deep ecology, like origin of food production, and it's this we had discussed in I think 1.8 in the last session. There was a question on different theories of origin of food production and its revolutionary impact. Then globalization's impact on indigenous economy, and then multiple scholarly interpretations of the colouring. So they are not simply asking about the colouring, they are going much deeper and asking about the multiple scholarly interpretations. Okay. So this is all about Unit 3, 4 and 5. Now we'll move to Unit 6. So this is your unit of anthropological theory from A to J. Okay. So A is about one theory called classical evolutionism. Okay. Classical evolutionism. Have you heard about this previously? What is it? Okay. What question it tries to answer? Very good. How it evolved? What are those particular stages? No, in order. Yeah. Yeah, so this theory, as he told, it says that culture evolved in a particular order, okay? It tries to answer when we see in the development of anthropology, in 1.1 you will study that anthropology developed during colonialism, okay? So when these colonial powers, when they saw other societies, those primitive societies, so they wanted an answer that why these societies are like that, okay? Why they are not like European societies. To find that answer came few anthropologists and they tried to answer it. So they said that all culture evolved in a particular order, and that order is from savagery to barbarism to civilization. They said that the European society is at this stage, okay? European society is at civilization stage. What happened? Yeah. So European society is at civilization stage, and other societies, they are either at this stage or this stage. Okay, so eventually they will come to this stage, civilization stage. Okay, so since here they are talking about the evolution of societies and culture, that's why the term is evolutionism. Okay, and this term is classical, is in contrast to, there is another theory, that is neo-evolutionism, means new evolutionism. So they are called classical evolutionist. Yeah, in this you have to learn about three scholars: Edward Tyler, Morgan, and Fraser. Okay, so you have to learn about this theory and then three scholars, okay, their perspectives related to this theory. Now, second theory is historical particularism. Okay, there is a scholar named Franz Boas. Okay, he is also called father of American anthropology. Can anyone tell what is it? Extinct. Yeah, so basic idea was that he said that all cultures don't progress through the same stage: savagery, barbarism, and civilization. Why? He said that each culture has unique history. Like in few culture, there are certain elements which have been borrowed from multiple other cultures. Okay, in few cultures there are more examples of migrations and all. So each culture has unique history, and we should study that culture keeping this unique history in mind. Okay, so that is called historical particularism. Particular means each culture has a particular history about it. So this is the idea of Franz Boas. Then another theory is diffusionism. In that you have to learn diffusionism according to three schools of anthropology: British, German, and American. Okay. What is the idea of diffusionism? Yeah, yeah, yeah. So they said that all cultures evolve from certain places. Okay, there are few core places, and from here all elements diffuse to other areas. Okay, so here there is a scholar. He said that all cultures evolved from Egypt. Okay, Egypt is the source of all cultures, and there are many other thoughts also. Then third is about, or fourth is about functionalism. Okay, this is important theory. You can use this theory even in your unit 5. You can use this in other parts of the syllabus also. So what is the idea of functionalism? As the name suggests, structural is I didn't get. Structure is about here it is, say, two terms are mentioned: functionalism and structural functionalism. Okay, so one is telling that culture exists to fulfill individual needs. This is functionalism by Malinowski. And second, structural functionalism, it says that culture exists to fulfill social solidarity and social structure. Okay. So here focus is on individual, here focus is on society. Okay. So that is the basic difference between functionalism and structural functionalism. Both were British anthropologists, Malinowski also and Radcliffe Brown also. And then next is structuralism. What is this about? Structuralism. What is structuralism? This is based on cognitive ideas. He said that all cultures on surface, though they appear different, they have some unconscious universal binary mental structures. Okay. This is a bit difficult to understand. See, in caste system also, few castes are considered pure. Okay. Contrary to them, there are few castes which are considered impure. So this is only the binary mental structure. So we conceive all ideas, one in contrary to the other. Okay. One is pure, other is impure. Similarly, if one is raw, one is cooked. Okay. Us versus then. So these are the universal binary structures, and he said that though the cultures on the surface appear different, they have similar unconscious universal binary structures, mental structures. Okay. So this is the idea of structuralism. In that you will study about the Levi Strauss and Edmund Leach. Another one is culture and personality school. So these are the students of French Boas only. All these are Ruth Benedict, Margaret Mead, Linton, Gardiner and Cora Du Bois. Okay. So they tried to link culture with the culture and personality. Okay. Are you able to understand it? Little bit. See, individual has a personality, right? What kind of personality we say about individuals? Most commonly, we say that someone is extrovert, okay? Someone is introvert. Similarly, they tried to say that each culture has also some sort of personality, okay? Like different cultures have different elements which reflect that culture's personality. In many cultures, if you go, they are very aggressive, okay? Even in their words also, there is aggressiveness, okay? Then in another culture or another region, if you go, they are very polite also, okay? So these are the different personalities of those cultures. They try to link concept of personality to the concept of culture. Now these various anthropologists, they did it very differently. Benedict said that culture is personality writ large. So if you are studying the personalities of few individuals from that culture, you can get an idea about the personality of that entire culture. Writ large means expanded. So she did a study that is called National Character Study. During World War II. So during World War II, when Japan attacked USA, so they wanted to understand the nature of Japanese culture. So Ruth Benedict, she studied Japanese culture from a distance. From distance means usually what anthropologists do, they go to the society, they live in the society and they try to experience things and write about it. But Ruth Benedict, since she couldn't go to Japan, so she studied few inmates, Japanese inmates in Japan. She watched few films also. She read few Japanese books. And then she wrote a book, its name is The Chrysanthemum and the Sword. What is chrysanthemum? Yeah, it is a flower. And what is sword? Sword is a instrument. So what flower signifies? Yeah, peace or something soft, calm, peace. What about sword? Harsh, aggression. Now this chrysanthemum is the national emblem of Japan, okay? And then she found that the Japanese soldiers, they were very aggressive and they were very disciplined. So she tried to explain that there is this chrysanthemum and the sword, though both is appearing distinct, one is soft and one is hard, but at the base both are about the same thing, okay? Even the chrysanthemum is about, though they are appearing polite, they care about their honor, okay? Here also, though they are polite, when they go to war, they display the same discipline here and they care about their honor. So she said that both of these things are suggesting the same configuration, same elements of the culture. Now what happened that when Japan was losing, so few in USA advised that the emperor of Japan should be executed, okay? And democracy should be established in the Japan. Now Benedict, based on these studies, she advised that emperor is not only the person there, okay? It is, emperor is treated like a god by Japanese. So if you execute them, they will go to guerrilla war, okay? They will continuously attack on you through time. So that's why they didn't execute the emperor and they just, this monarchy remained there. So this was the implication of the Benedict's study on the Japanese, this USA-Japanese relation. Now another anthropologist is Margaret Mead. Her famous study is Coming of Age in Samoa. Okay. This is an important book, Coming of Age in Samoa. So she said that in USA it is usually believed that adolescence is very stormy. It was believed that adolescent stage is stormy in all cultures. Now she studied Samoans and she said that during adolescence also they are very peaceful. So she said that these things are cultural constructs. These vary across culture according to personality of culture. Okay. Then there are others like Cardinal Linton, Cora Du Bois. So they gave an idea about, there is a idea we learn in this concept of basic personality, and Cora Du Bois, she gave idea of model personality. Okay, so all these things we study in the culture and personality school. Now next is neo-evolutionism. Neo means new. So the problem with the classical was that most common problem was, the major problem was, yeah, another one. There was ethnocentric bias. Ethnocentric means you are judging all cultures from the lens of your own culture. Okay, that is called ethnocentric. So they said that civilization is what European culture is. Okay. Now, neo-evolutionism, they removed this ethnocentric bias. Okay. Another problem was that they were armchair anthropologists. They didn't conduct any study in the societies themselves. Okay. They relied on the secondary sources, something written by some other anthropologists. Now they were not armchair anthropologists. So these are the major things. They focused mainly on the adaptation. Okay, they said that cultures evolve due to adaptations. Okay, now there are different scholars here: Gordon Childe, White, Stewart, Salins, and Service. So they said different things about adaptation. Like idea of Leslie White, one anthropologist here, White, he said that as energy per capita is more utilized in a culture, that culture progresses more. Okay, so Leslie White tried to make this cultural explanation more scientific. Okay, there is an idea in anthropology that is called positivism. Can anyone tell? In other social sciences also it is there. Those who are from social science background, what is it? Positivism, it tries to give a scientific explanation to everything. Okay, all ideas should have rational scientific explanation. So Leslie White's idea are inspired by positivism. And then Stewart is there. So Stewart's idea is about cultural ecology, that cultures develop through adaptation to its ecology. And Salins and Service, they try to reconcile both the ideas, okay? Ideas of White and ideas of Julian Stewart. Next is cultural materialism. What is it? Cultural materialism. What these words are suggesting? Materialism means it gives a material explanation. Means they say that culture is an adaptation to environment. So here one scholar is mentioned here, Marvin Harris. There is another one called Roy Rappaport. So Marvin Harris, he tried to explain that why Hindus don't eat beef. Okay. So he tried to explain that Hindus don't eat beef because of this environment. Because in Indian society, bullocks and cows, they are means of production. Okay. So if you kill them, you are killing your economy. Okay. So to adapt to environment, this beef eating is prohibited. So they have given an concept of structure, superstructure, and infrastructure. Okay. So this infrastructure, infrastructure is means of production, and it decides your structure of society and superstructure. All these ideas you will learn in the cultural materialism. Structure of society means your polity, your economy. Okay. Superstructure means your myths, rituals, okay, religion and all those aspects. Then next is symbolic and interpretive theories. Okay, symbolic means both study symbols. Okay, symbols of culture. What is difference? Can anyone tell? They try to study culture by the study of their symbols. All these are about the study of culture only, but they are doing it in a different manner. So what is difference between symbolic and interpretive? Symbolic, they study symbols in action, like rituals. Okay, and from this they try to understand about the culture. So here we study ideas of Victor Turner, Snyder and Clifford Geertz. Okay, this was there in your Unit 5 question. Remember, how did Clifford Geertz study religion? So this is interpretive anthropologist. Victor Turner is a symbolic anthropologist. 2025 they asked a question comparing Victor Turner and Clifford Geertz. So there is an idea of Victor Turner called liminality. Anyone who knows this? Liminality. This was also asked in UPSC. Liminality means, suppose there is a stage A and stage B. Unmarried and stage B is married. So while transitioning from stage A to stage B, there is a stage that is called liminal stage. Okay, so he tried to explain this liminality. I'll take an example. Suppose in a marriage ceremony, in a Hindu marriage, there is a ritual called Kanyadan. Okay, so what happens here in Kanyadan? Who performs this? Father. Father of bride performs this. So now, when Kanyadan has been performed, he has donated the bride to the groom. So now the bride is no longer unmarried. Okay, but she is not also married. Okay, there is a center stage somewhere. After this, what happened? After Kanyadan, Saptapadi. They take those feras. Okay. So even at this stage also, Saptapadi, still it is in liminal stage. So they are neither unmarried nor married. Now after this happens Sindur Dan. Okay. So after this stage, they are considered married. Okay. So this idea is very important, liminality in anthropology. There is another idea by Victor Turner you will study, that is communitas. That all those in certain similar situation, they form a camaraderie. Okay, suppose you are watching a cricket match between India and Pakistan. So all those who are from India side, irrespective of their background, caste, religion, they form a camaraderie. Or there is a delayed flight at the airport. All those who are there, they form a sort of brotherhood. Okay, so that is the idea of communitas. Now another one is cognitive theory. This is the least important one. Last it was asked in 2002. Okay, since then it has not been asked, but you have to prepare it also. And then the last one is post postmodernism. This had been asked previously, it reappeared in 2024, and then they asked in 2025 also. So this is also very important. What is postmodernism? Post means after, and modernism means no. After modernism. So this modernism is whatever the theories came after Enlightenment, we consider them as modern theories, okay? Like structuralism and all these theories. So this idea was against those theories, okay? So that is called postmodernism. There is an anthropologist called Lyotard who is related to postmodern ideas. Then another one is Jacques Derrida. They specifically ask this name in the question also. We'll see. Okay. So there are various ideas related to postmodernism. Okay, regarding how we should conduct anthropological studies and all. Okay, can anyone tell 1-2 ideas? What is the crux of postmodernism? What is the main idea, crux? No, that is the related one. The main thing about postmodernism. No idea. This postmodernism is there in other disciplines also, in political science also, geography also. Main idea is incredulity to grand narratives. All these theories have formed some sort of grand narratives. They try to give a theory and they try to explain everything through that particular theory. So they say that this is a grand narrative and they are incredulous to that. They don't want to believe those grand narratives. So they are against those grand narratives. Main idea is this. Now, to avoid these grand narratives, they have proposed certain things. One is the idea of deconstruction. They say that if some scholar is writing something about the society, okay, so that is not a very honest or objective description of that society, okay. That is from the perspective of that particular scholar. So they want to systematically study that description to find out the biases, okay, what voices that study has silenced and all these things. That is called deconstruction. That is systematic study to find out the biases and these aspects. Then another idea is reflexivity, what you said. So reflexivity is that when you are studying a society, if you see previous ethnographic studies, suppose this Malinowski only, he studied Traubrianders. So in his book, if you see, he has written the Traubrianders believe now he has written this ethnographic study long back. Even now I am studying this ethnographic text. So I'll be thinking that even now also Traubrianders are like that only. Okay. So he has fixed them in one time, as if they are not changing, right? That you are writing in a present tense. So you believe that all the Traubrianders believe certain thing, okay? You have not mentioned that whether the old age Traubrianders are believing in some different manner or whether the belief system of the women Traubrianders is different. All those aspects are not discussed there. They have simply mentioned one aspect and they have imposed it upon the whole of the Trobriand society. Okay, so these postmodernists, they are against these ideas. They say that when you are writing about a society, you have to explicitly mention about your biases, you have to mention about your point of view, your background and all these aspects, okay? So that those who are studying the ethnography, they get to know that from which lens you are writing those ethnography, okay? So there are various other ideas also like multivocality, that you have to include various other perspectives, okay, in the, if you are studying about Trobrianders, you have to study about their women also, their perspectives, old age, ancient, infants and all. You have to write about the perspective of multiple people in that society. So these are the ideas of postmodernists. Now quickly we will look at the questions asked from the unit 6. In 2025, they have asked, compare and contrast the symbolic approaches of Clifford Gies and Victor Turner. The same question which I asked. One is symbolic and one is interpretive. So what is the difference? You have to compare and contrast. Means you have to write the similarity, you have to write the differences as well, okay, to understand culture. Then now this question they have previously asked in 2019, 15 and 13. That's why PYQ preparation is very important. If you prepare last 10-year PYQ, it will help you a lot, okay? Almost anyone who was there in the first session, even if you see paper 1 of 2025, 61% of questions were related to last 5-year PYQs, okay? And that was 82% in 2024, okay? That's why PYQ preparation is very important. In paper 2, it ranges between 82 to 85%, sometimes 75% also, but more than 75% each time. Now 2025 they asked, critically examine James Fraser's theory of evolutionism. Evolutionism they had stopped asking long back. Now again it reappeared in 2025. So don't think that if they are not asking something, you should leave it. At least learn something about all theories. Then illustrate the place of religion in modernity. This was the question there, okay? Only second part was mentioned. So how we will write this? Can anyone tell? Basic structure of this answer? So in introduction, what will you write? Yeah, so either you will directly start with his specific ideas, or you can also start with the idea of evolutionism. Then you will describe his theory. Then critically examine is the word, so you will write about the scholarly critique also. And then second part of the answer, you will write about the place of religion in modernity, okay? Then 2025, they have asked about theories of postmodernism, how the theories of postmodernism are relevant in promoting social justice and empowerment of the marginalized communities, okay? So previously in 2024, if you see, they have asked about notion of deconstruction in the light of postmodern work of Jacques Derrida. And 2015, they have asked simply about the postmodernism. Now this question is about the application of postmodernism. So whenever you are learning a theory, you have to also see what is the contemporary relevance of that theory, okay? Then 2024, they have asked historical particularism as a critical development to the classical evolutionism. We discussed it now, right? Remember? What was it? What was classical evolutionism and how historical particularism was a critical development to it? Hmm? I told you this was ethnocentric, okay? It said that all culture developed through some certain stages, okay? And now this theory, it told that each culture has to be judged in its own particular terms because they have particular history. 2024, they asked about critically discuss the characteristics of psychological types in the culture of American Southwest as observed by Ruth Benedict. Now, if you are studying any scholars, you will focus on their theory and then their ethnographic study. From this ethnographic study only this theory comes out, okay? How we study usually is that we focus more here and very little here. Nowadays what they are doing is they are focusing more here. This was very specific question asking only about the ethnographic study particularly, okay? You will see in other questions also. Question is critically discuss the characteristic of psychological type in the cultures of American Southwest. This was an ethnographic study by Ruth Benedict, okay? So she found that this culture had two elements, Apollonian and Dionysian. So you have to specifically mention this and then you have to critically discuss. You have to put other scholarly perspectives also. So you, whenever you are studying a theory, you have to focus here also. Learn the details of their ethnographic study also. Then 2024 they have asked, how does Levi-Strauss look at the Simpson myth of Asdiwal? Okay, this is a study by Levi-Strauss. It is a study of myth. Okay, so here also focus is more on that particular ethnographic study. Critically discuss Levi-Strauss theory of structuralism in the light of his study of mythologies. So if you just know his theory, then you will be able to write only the second part of your answer properly. The first part is entirely about the ethnographic study. So from that ethnographic study, you have to, mentioning the elements from this study, you have to highlight this element at how he looked at the myth of Asdiwal. Understood? No? See, he gave a structural analysis of myth, okay? And he gave this structural analysis of myth through the study of Simpson myth of Asdiwal. Okay, this is a culture. Okay, in that he studied their myths. From that study, he came to some conclusion. That is the theory. Okay, so you have to mention the details of these myths also. Okay, particular myths, and then only you can explain that how he looked at the structural analysis of myth. Understood? Not clear? Like simply you cannot just write the theory. Okay, you have to put the elements of his ethnographic study also. Then only it will fetch marks. Then critically discuss the Levi-Strauss theory of, this is second part is about his broad theory of structuralism in the light of his study of mythologies. Okay? Didn't get? Yeah, very good. Then 2024 they have asked, critically explain the notion of deconstruction in the light of postmodern works of Jacques Derrida. This I explained, what is deconstruction. Then 2023 they have asked William Ogburn and cultural lag. What is culture? Everything in anthropology, socio-cultural anthropology revolves around this word culture. What is it? Way of living. Okay. Yeah, basically It is way of living. There is a definition by Edward Tyler. You have to remember that by heart, okay? So learn that definition. Now culture has two elements. One is material and one is non-material. So this idea of cultural lag is the material aspect develops more rapidly compared to the non-material aspect, okay? Like even in your society, if you see, there are many material developments like AI, okay, smartphone and all, new versions of smartphone. There are various material developments, but the value system of society is not keeping pace with the material development. So that is the main idea. Then 2023 they have asked about, this was a new question that time. Critically examine Arjun Appadurai. This scholar is not mentioned in your syllabus, okay? So that way it was an out of syllabus question. But if you are studying a theory and if you are studying the current perspectives, okay, current developments and perspectives, then you will learn these scholars. Okay, so don't just limit yourself to these scholars. You have to also see that what are the current developments and current critique to it. Okay, are there new scholars who have suppose there is a new scholar who has given a perspective about functionalism. So you have to study that also, and when you are mentioning that scholar in your answer, you will be getting better marks. There are chances also that they can independently ask a question relating that scholar to this idea of functionalism. Okay. So 2023 they asked, critically examine Arjun Appadurai conceptualization of global cultural economy. His idea, he has given an idea of 5 scapes, okay, that you have to learn. I will not explain here. Okay, that is for class. That each culture has 5 scapes, ideoscapes and all. Then 2023 they have asked, discuss political and methodological aspect of national character study. That we studied regarding national character. Just now I discussed Ruth Benedict. Okay. Ruth Benedict belongs to which school? Culture and Personality, very good. That book is Chrysanthemum and Sword. So discuss political and methodological aspect of national character study, elucidate the contemporary relevance of such studies. Okay. And similar question was asked in 2018 also. In 2023 they have asked, critically discuss the controversies related to fieldwork of Bronislaw Malinowski and Margaret Mead. This is linking unit 6 with unit 8. Unit 8 is about research methods in anthropology. Okay, in that you will study about field work. So nowadays they are asking integrated question also. Okay, when they are doing ethnographic study, see Bronislaw Malinowski, he is famous for field work. Okay, he but he made it famous, fieldwork and participant observation. What is fieldwork? Fieldwork means what? You are going to field and doing some work, that is fieldwork. When you are hired in bank, you go to a village and then you identify who don't have bank account, that is sort of fieldwork. So anthropologists also, they do field work. They go to the society, they live there, they study. Related to this is a term, participant observation. Participant observation means you are participating in that society and then observing things. Okay, that is called participant observation. And this was made famous by Bronislaw Malinowski. Margaret Mead also, she also did field work. That book I mentioned, no, Coming of Age in Samoa. She did fieldwork in Samoa. Now question is about critically discuss the controversies. There are certain controversies related to fieldwork of Malinowski and Mead. So that you have to mention here, discuss here, that too in a critical way. So there are a few anthropologists who have criticized the fieldwork of Malinowski and Mead, who themselves have also get criticized. Okay, so that we will discuss some other time. Now coming to next set of questions. In 2022, they have asked Radcliffe Brown's ideas on status, role, and institutions. What is status? Suppose you get selected, so you get a status of district magistrate. Then related to this status, you have to perform certain role. Okay, so that is the idea of status and role. And then institution, it tries to keep the things in equilibrium. Okay, that is the idea of Radcliffe Brown. Then 2022, they have asked, discuss the approaches of Leslie White, Julian Stewart, and Marshall Sahlins in the light of cultural evolution. Where did we study all these scholars? In which theory? Just few minutes back. Neo-evolutionism. Okay, so you have to discuss. I told you that they all belong to neo-evolutionism, but they have different approaches. Okay, and what was neo-evolutionism about? It was about evolution of culture to adapt. Okay, so how they adapt, that is the, for that they have different ideas. I discussed the idea of Leslie White also, that energy capture per capita. Then Julian Stewart also, cultural ecology. And then Sahlins and Service, they tried to accommodate their ideas into one idea. So that only you have to mention. So if you have understood that topic, it is all there in the syllabus. So if you have the clarity, then you can answer this question in a better manner. 21, they have asked historical particularism and French boas. Very simple, right? Both are mentioned in the syllabus, historical particularism, and in bracket they have mentioned boas. Then 21, they have asked, elucidate the concept of thick description of Clifford Geer's with a suitable example. Who is Clifford Geer? Yeah, interpretive anthropologist. Now, he says that culture is a text to be read. His idea is that culture is a text to be read, because culture is a web of significance. Humans have spun around. A particular culture has particular element because that particular society is giving some significance to that particular element. So he said that culture is a web of significance, okay? And that's why you have to read the culture like a text, okay? In that, he has given a, how to read, he has given an idea of thick description, okay? When you are reading that culture, you have to describe this properly. That is called thick description. Describe that properly means you have to bring out the context and meaning. So he studied a Balinese culture, okay? There is also a question also related to that. Somewhere, I think it will appear in the later years. So he studied Balinese cockfight. In Balinese culture, cockfight is very famous, okay? So on face, this Balinese cockfight appears like a game, but he studied this and he made out that this is very significant for that Balinese culture, and it tells many important things about that Balinese culture. Okay, what important elements? So he said that these cocks are considered masculine, okay, and then there is bloodshed. I am telling this in very brief. So this bloodshed is to make happy divine power, okay, of that Balinese society. And then he made out certain other elements also from that culture, that how based on this Balinese cockfight, how they practice some cultural elements, okay, how they do some socialization activities and all. That we will study in much detail in the class. So that is the main idea. I wanted to just show you what is thick description. Thick description is that elaborating things in detail to clear their meaning and context, okay. Then there is another idea related to Clifford Geertz, that is deep play. Okay, this is also important. They may ask, deep play, there is a scholar in your GS4, Jeremy Bentham. Anyone who remembers? Bentham? No? Consequentialism, this is an idea in ethics. So he is related to that. And this phrase is coined by Jeremy Bentham, and Clifford Geertz has taken the phrase from Bentham and applied to the cultural studies. Okay, next is human rights and cultural relativism. There are two terms in 2.1, okay, 2.1 of your syllabus. One is ethnocentrism and second is cultural relativism. Ethnocentrism is you are judging all cultures from one particular lens, okay. In movie, this one, Two States, okay, there is about the groom is from the North India and the bride is from South India. And when groom family is going to South India, they are judging each custom and tradition from their own lenses. They are criticizing it from their own lenses. So that is the basic idea of ethnocentrism, that you judge everything from your own lens and then you start criticizing. There is contrary idea, that is cultural relativism. So you judge each culture according to its own merits, okay. You judge each culture according to its own merits. So here they have combined idea of human rights with the cultural relativism. So suppose in some society there is idea that if someone is committing a theft, you should murder them, okay, or execute them. Now, from the idea of cultural relativism, you are judging their system by their own merit. So you will not be criticizing it. So at what point of time, till when this is valid, okay? This is also a debate. That till when you will consider that, okay, this is, I have to judge that particular cultural element on its own merit. There is no universal cultural standard, okay? Here the main idea is that you are against the idea of universal cultural standard, right? You are judging each culture on its own merit. So till when you can do this? Okay, so they have tried to link human right and cultural relativism so that you can write about this idea. In 2020, they have asked about Victor Turner and the idea of liminality. Who is Victor Turner? In which theory he was? Symbolic, right? Symbolic and interpretive. Then 2020, this was a new question, Erving Goffman's concept of total institutions and its relevance in contemporary society. Total institutions are like, prison is an example of total institution. You form a certain way of life, certain way of living there. That we'll study in more detail. Then 2020 they have asked, discuss various anthropological approaches to the study of personality and culture. I told you that there are various anthropologists, they have related culture and personality in different manners. So that only you have to write here. Then 2020 they have asked how the construct of power is linked to the notion of conspicuous consumption and its impact. This we discussed, okay. Then 2019 they have asked about cultural materialism. Who is the anthropologist related to this? Cultural materialism? Harris, very good. I told you another one, Roy Rappaport. Repeatedly you have to go through the syllabus, okay? Get a printout and go through the syllabus repeatedly, then only you will be able to remember. Then 2019 they have asked, discuss social stratification according to any three major approaches. This is basically a question of 2.2, nature of society. Then 2019 they have asked, examine critically the contributions of Victor Turner and Clifford Gies in anthropology. This was again asked in 2025. Remember? The first question was Clifford Gies and Victor Turner. In 2018 they have asked Gordon Child's theory of cultural evolution. This is also neo-evolutionism. 2018, what do you understand by national character study? This they have asked previously also. Who is related to this? Which anthropologist? Ruth Benedict. Then 2017 they have asked a basic question, basic tenets of structural functionalism. Then 2017, Ruth Benedict's Pattern of Culture. This is the name of the book written by Ruth Benedict. And this is an anthropological idea also. In 2017, critically examine the Julian Stewart's view of neo-evolutionism. Okay, Stewardian view means Julian Stewart's. Then 2016, very simple question, functionalism. 2016, again they have asked according to Gies, how does the, this one, how does the cockfight reveal aspects of Balinese culture? So through ethnographic study, you have to make out how various elements of this cockfight reveal the significant aspect of Balinese culture. In 2016, how do the concepts of binary opposites and exchange figure in the Levi-Strauss structural analysis of kinship? In structuralism, I told you the idea of binary opposites, that humans think in the manner of binary opposites, and then idea of exchange. So he said that in 2.3 marriage you will and even 2.5 kinship, you will study the idea of Levi-Strauss. He said that incest taboo. What is incest taboo? That you are forbidden from marrying your relatives, okay, close relatives. So incest taboo exists so as we can form alliances. So his idea is also called alliance theory. Okay, there are two theories in 2.5. One is descent theory and one is alliance theory. Okay. So here also they have asked about binary opposite and exchange. How do binary opposite and exchange figure in Levi-Strauss structural analysis of kinship? So they have linked unit 6 with unit 2.5. 2.5 is kinship. Okay. So as you see, unit 6 is forming a backbone of all other units of sociocultural anthropology. Okay, even in kinship they have asked, even in religion, marriage. Now 2015 they have asked simple question on historical particularism. 2015 they have asked how did Morgan explain the evolution of marriage, family and socio-political organization? How did other evolutionists disagree with his explanation? This is related to classical evolutionism. There is a scholar, Morgan, and he explained that how marriage is also, I told you that society evolved like savagery, barbarism and civilization. And this scholar, he told that how marriages have also evolved. That first there was promiscuity, and from that we have come to monogamous marriages through various stages. Okay, so that you have to mention. Then 2015 they have asked how do diffusionism and evolutionism differ. Okay, this we discussed briefly. How do they differ? Diffusionism is about that there is one culture center, and from that cultural elements diffuse to other cultures. And evolutionism, that all cultures evolve through 3 unilinear stages. Then 2015 they explain the basic features of postmodernism. See, after 2015 they have directly asked a question on postmodernism in 2024. Okay. Similarly, if you see regarding evolutionism also they have asked, I think after 2015 only, in 2025. So if they are not asking one particular theory for 10 years also, then also you have to study about that. They may ask. 2015 they asked what made Gibbs' interpretive anthropology distinct from Turner's symbolic anthropology. What does each of them mean by the term symbol and symbolic? Same question like 2025 one. Last few are there. 2014, what is functionalism? Discuss the functional approaches to the understanding of religion. Okay, functionalism is in unit 6 and functional approaches to study of religion is in unit 5. Okay. 2013, in what ways is functionalism different from structural functionalism? We discussed briefly. Then 2013, bring out the contribution of Turner and Gibbs in the symbolic and interpretive theories in anthropology. Okay, clear? 2012, postmodernism in anthropology. So this is all from unit 6. And there are few takeaways like we mentioned for 3, 4, 5. So recurring themes are symbolic and interpretive. This is being commonly asked in last 4, 5 years. Then culture and personality school and postmodernism. Okay, these theories are very important. And apart from this, you have to study other theories also because they are also important from your other parts of sociocultural anthropology. Now what is shift? Shift is towards application. In most of the questions you saw it was critically discussed. Okay, so criticism also. Then there were few questions where they have asked about the application aspect also. Okay, and then specific case studies, specific ethnographic studies by the scholars. Here I have given few examples like Fraser linked with religion in modernity. Okay, second part of the question was there, place of religion in modernity. And then Gibbs and Turner, comparative analysis instead of writing separately on it. Then 2024 they have asked about the Tsimshian myth of Asdeval very specifically. And the most important is don't ignore any theory. What is happening? Yeah, don't ignore any theory. Evolutionism appeared in 2025 after 10 years. Similarly, postmodernism appeared in 2024 and 25 after 2015, 10 years. So even if they are not asking, you have to prepare it. Then prepare neo-evolutionism for those who are going to appear in 2026, because they have asked last in 2022 after 2020. So this year it becomes important. Then functionalism and structuralism, they have not asked a question since 2017, so this is also important. Then cultural materialism, it was last asked in 2019 after 2011. So all these theories are more important. There are chances that they may ask these theories. Diffusionism last asked in 2015. Cognitive theory was never asked since the new syllabus came. It was last asked in 2002. So this is all about, yeah, few more things. Instead of asking explain the theory, UPSC is asking contemporary relevance, criticism, specific scholars and empirical illustrations. So when you are reading a theory, you have to focus on contemporary relevance, current scholarly criticisms, okay? We saw that few questions are out of syllabus, okay? But they are linked to the theories mentioned in the syllabus. So they are the current criticisms to those theories. Then specific scholars and empirical illustrations. And focus on comparison between the theories. Okay, so idea is that you have to get very good conceptual clarity on the theory aspect, okay? That way you can write good answers to all socio-cultural anthropology questions, okay? Any questions so far? Anything you didn't understand? Any doubt?
Are there any dynamic aspects to this option?
What were the?
Are there any dynamic aspects?
Very few. That is the good thing about anthropology. At very few places you have to take help of newspaper and all. Especially in paper 2 you have to do that. In paper 1 there are various topics in which you can include some aspects, but that is not necessary. We all provide that in the classroom only. Okay. In the test series also you will get that in the approach answers. Anything else? No? Okay, so in next session we will discuss from 7 to I think 9, okay? And next to it we will discuss about 10 to 12. Okay, thank you everyone. We'll meet again in the next session.
Most aspirants treat optional as a subject. Toppers treat it as an opportunity to gain an edge, boost their main score and strengthen their final rank. The question is simple: simultaneous preparation today or overwhelming pressure later on? Because optional preparation cannot be built overnight after prelims. It requires time, depth, practice, refinement. Start early, prepare smart, stay ahead. Join the VisionIAS Optional Classroom Program 2027 and turn your optional into your strongest scoring advantage. With comprehensive syllabus coverage, expert faculty guidance, subject-specific answer writing support, personalized mentorship, regular tests and performance assessment. Starting 1st July, batches are available for Anthropology, Geography, History, Philosophy, Physics, PSIR, Public Administration, Sociology. Register now and secure your seat.
Time is of the essence, and your UPSC preparation demands that you use it wisely. Every day you invest today shapes the knowledge you build, the confidence you gain, and the progress you make tomorrow. That's why your preparation deserves more than just effort. It deserves a structured plan. Introducing the VisionIAS Delhi GS Foundation Course 2027. A comprehensive program designed to help you build strong fundamentals, stay consistent, and prepare systematically for every stage of the civil services examination. Prepare comprehensively with general studies for prelims and mains, dedicated CSAT preparation for prelims, specialized essay preparation for mains, integrated current affairs, regular tests with detailed performance analysis, continuous mentorship and expert guidance. When your preparation is guided by a clear roadmap, every class adds value, every test measures progress, and every day moves you closer to your goal.